This summer will be the first that will implement the rule change of the Premier League ending the transfer window before the start of the new season instead of after, while all previous seasons had their transfer deadline day set for August 31st, which meant that transfers continued for a good couple of weeks after the initial start of the campaign. The majority of Premier League clubs voted to bring the deadline earlier as to avoid disruption and interruption of their season with players leaving and arriving. Clubs in England will still be able to sell to other leagues but will no longer be able to buy after August 9th, which will change the overall narrative of deadline day. Now, teams will be forced to assess their squad depth ahead of their new season, but will also be allowed to focus purely on their on-pitch performances without the distraction and drama of the transfer window once their seasons start. When does the Premier League transfer window open for 2018-19? Due to Premier League clubs voting to end the summer transfer window before the start of the season to avoid disrupting their campaign with player transfers, it will now open on May 17, almost a month earlier. In order to comply with FIFA rules which state that the window must be open for 12 weeks, clubs will now be allowed to start spending on May 17 instead of June 9. The rule change will only affect Premier League clubs, so the rest of Europe will still operate with the old rules and will have their transfer windows start and end later. Member clubs will now be able to start buying and selling players as soon as this Thursday, which will make for an exciting summer with the World Cup in mind. Clubs in England have usually been afflicted with constant uncertainty year after year as they have fought to keep hold of star players, who have increasingly become frustrated with their futures being unknown, and taking attention away from on-pitch performances. Both Alexis Sanchez and Philippe Coutinho's transfers both dragged on well after the season started despite only leaving their clubs in the winter transfer window. A substantial number of transfers usually take place well after the season starts in England, such as Chelsea's coups of Danny Drinkwater and Davide Zappacosta as well as Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's move to Liverpool. When is Premier League 2018-19 deadline day? With the new Premier League campaign set to begin on the weekend of August 11 and 12 at 5 p.m. British Summer Time, and to be in accordance with the new rules, deadline day will be brought forward to August 9 instead of the previous August 31. Clubs, however, will still be able to sell players until August 31 to other leagues but will not be allowed to buy replacements after the August 9 deadline. European leagues such as Spain, Germany, Italy and France still have their windows open from June 1 to August 31 as before. Had the rule been implemented last season, Coutinho would have been forced to have stayed at Anfield regardless, as he had made a fuss and was involved in a strike after being denied a move to Barcelona towards the end of the window. Jurgen Klopp is among a slew of managers who are in favor of the rule change, stating last year, "It would have helped us this year if the window had shut early." It makes sense that when the season is starting, planning for the team is over. Former Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger also said, "The ideal situation would be to have a transfer period that is closed 48 hours before the first game of the championship and to close it completely until after the season. I believe that we have to bring some decency. We all complain today that it has become too much a business, but we can do something about it. We have that responsibility in the game."